For the next couple weeks, our injury prevention is going to look at the lower back. The lower back issues or injuries are right at the top of the list for firefighters. So we're going to look at different movement, different stretches, things to help keep our lower back happy and healthy. Now on that note, everyone's different. What your injury is or your issue is might respond differently than a coworker's lower back issues. So once you find the exercises or the stretches that help give you a little bit of relief for those lower back problems, that's when you know it works. And sometimes it's ever changing. So today we're going to look at basics, keeping the glutes strong. We use our glutes all the time, walking throughout the day, standing up, sitting down, stepping into a rig. Every time you walk, those gluteal muscles are engaged. The more we sit in front of the computer, the more we sit on the recliner, the weaker those glutes get. So adding in movement, adding in exercises that help strengthen the posterior chain or strengthen the glutes is a good thing. I'm going to go through just basic movements for today. And then as we progress, I'll put them together and we'll have the movements as an exercise, a little exercise routine. So the first basic we're going to look at is a squat, a basic squat, which I know most of you do. But in case you are newer to some exercises or just to review, you want your feet about hip width apart, facing straight ahead or slightly angled. It depends on your hips, your tightness in your back, and what feels good for you. As you squat, you just drop down. As you come up, you engage those glutes, drawing the ribs in. The lower you get, the more muscle activation you get. So if you could go low and with good position in a squat, if your body doesn't like that, maybe you're making it small, and little by little, as the weeks go on, you'll be able to get a little lower. So basic, you're looking forward, not at the floor, ribs are in, you're gonna drop into that squat. As you come up, engage those glutes. That's a basic squat. Next one is a basic lunge. Now when I do lunges with clients or with people, I like to go with the reverse lunge. We do a lot of movement through the day going forward. So a lot of them I guess I do both, but let's look at the reverse lunge. One foot will stay planted, one leg will come back, you bend it down toward the ground and come on up. Again, torso's tall. So if you're sideways, you're gonna drop it down without the knee touching the floor. As you come up, you're coming up nice and tall. Alternating, you could do all on one leg. So again, basic lunge, you just drop those legs down and come up. Next one we're gonna look at is a side lunge, a lateral lunge, getting a little bit more movement through those leg muscles. So again, you just drop down, knee, ankle, hip are about in line. So you wanna make sure you're not so wide that your ankle's here and your hip is here. You want them all about in line with each other, having that foot face forward. As you come into your side lunge, you're driving those hips back. So you want to make sure you're not coming forward onto the toe, but you're going to drive the hips back, driving through the heel. And again, you could do all one side. You could alternate as you go, but that is a basic side lunge. Next one we're looking at is a basic curtsy lunge. So one foot stays planted, other leg comes back, the knee drops down, we have a little opening through the hips and come up nice and tall. For some people, maybe you only go low, not very low. So it's a smaller movement. For some people, you could drop down farther and come up. Next one we're looking at is a single leg deadlift. So one foot's gonna stay planted. We'll go this way. So I'm gonna keep my right foot planted, nice straight line through the other side, ribs are in. You're gonna hinge forward, pushing that heel behind you, toes facing down. As you come up, you're squeezing the glute of the leg you're standing on. Again, toes down, you have that straight line from your heel to your hip to your shoulder. And again, it doesn't have to be a big movement. So if you find you're better here, and that's the range of your movement when you start, that's okay. Listen to that body. As you're coming up, you're still squeezing the glute of the leg you're standing on. Now the last basic one we're gonna look at is a bridge. Great glute strengthener. So many ways to put a bridge together, but again, today, just the basics. So onto the ground, feet facing straight ahead, about hip width apart. Drive those hips up. You're gonna tuck the tailbone, abs in, glutes are tight. Make sure the weight's on the shoulders, off your head, neck. Option one, hold it right here. Keeping everything engaged, nice and tight. Option two, you're gonna dip the hips as they come up. You're gonna tuck the pelvis and tighten the glutes. So tuck and tighten. As hips come down, they dip down, but they don't touch the floor. And so that is the basic glute bridge. So those are just the basics for today. If you don't use any of those in workouts, which I really find that doubtful. I know a lot of people have your deadlifts or your squats and your lunges. Keep them going and then focus in on the muscles. So as you're doing the movements and as you're doing the exercises, focus in on feeling those muscles actually engage and work. I'll see you next time.